Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome back to my little corner of the internet, better known as the Thwip side. As always, I'm AJ, and tonight I want to take a look at the McFarlane Toys Mortal Kombat 11 Kabal figure. Looking at the packaging, once again, standard MK11 packaging that we've been getting, where it just says MK11, Kabal. You can see the whole figure and his accessories and the stand in the back. And what I'm kind of bummed out about right away, if you can't tell, one of his blades, hook blades, are bent, so I'll have to heat that up in the pack once I pop them open. It's Mortal Kombat 11, once again. Little bit of the figure on the side, and then the full product shot in the back. And I almost forgot, can't forget, the mumbo jumbo on the bottom. Now, before we take a closer look at Kabal, we'll go over his accessories. Of course, we already saw them in the package. Standard stand that just says Mortal Kombat that we get with all McFarlane figures. And then he comes with his two hook blades. Like I said, this one I'll have to heat up. It's bent. It's a very soft material. The whole thing is pretty soft. But they're identical. And nothing fancy, just some red for the grip and the silver for all the hooks and the blades. Taking a closer look at Kabal, as usually with McFarlane, really nice looking figure. I mean, looks just like the game. He's got the cool mask. This is a version of when he's dead, a remnant. So he's got the gray skin, but all the costume details are there. Really nice. It's all an overlay. And take a close look at his head. But yeah, once again, a really nice looking figure from McFarlane, and a perfect representation of Kabal from the game. All the detail is really nice. All the paint, as usual, pretty clean. He's got his little gas canister. And then the straps. The nice boots. Nice texture on the pants. We'll go a little slower down to the boots. But yeah, really cool looking figure. I really like how he came out. Now, if you're wondering why I don't sound as excited as I did in my Noob Saibot review, and you're going to find out in a second during the articulation segment. And no pun intended, but this is a very big buzzkill for this figure, the articulation. Buzz, I say, for those who know, he throws buzzsaws in the game. But anyway, poor joke. But that is because you'll just see in a minute. So we'll start with the head. Because of the way his jacket, or whatever, like jacket or collar is, I should say, he has no up, can't look up, and he barely looks down. The head, I guess the ball must be too big in the head. The hole must not be big, because you can't even get down. But I mean, up anyway, it would crash, but that's a disappointment. He does go side to side, and he does have some tilt, which is good. And then going to the arms, they're really tight. Got a hair here. Ugh. It will go out that far. And down, it's got the butterfly. And then swivel the bicep, nicely hidden from the shirt, which is cool. And then he does have the double jointed elbows, which are excellent. And down in the torso is where the problems happen. I don't know what it is, but I think it might be this belt, but I think there's other problems. But because of that, well, he can only turn so much like that. And you have to be careful because these hoses come down to the canister, so if you stress it too much, you might pop it. I haven't gotten that far, but because of this armor piece here and this belt, that's it. That's your crunch. And because of the stuff going on in the back, that's your arc back. There's like nothing. And a little tilt. And like I said, you get twist a little. But that is really disappointing, especially for a character like Kabal, who is a runner. You have to be able to crouch a little more to get him in a running position as well as look up. So not off to a great start. His legs will go out that far. This is all soft material, so it allows for that. It'll kick that far. Let's try this leg. Well, not as much. I mean, well, no. Okay. Now the one thing that really surprised me is where McFarlane usually get a little pivot at the hip rotation. You do get that, but this is awesome. You've got a swivel just above the knee here, nicely hidden here, and that is a big improvement for McFarlane. That they're big on not wanting to break up their sculpts too much, but it's great to see in instances like this where you can hide it that they added that. I got to give them kudos to them for that, because that is awesome. I'm glad they're changing things up a bit, and hopefully that happens on more figures in the future. I had a couple where I thought maybe it was done on purpose, but I wasn't sure, so I stopped moving it because I thought maybe I'd break it. But this, I believe, is done on purpose because it's not super tight, not super loose either. But yeah, I'm really happy for that, for them adding that. And then he has the double jointed knees that go all the way, almost all the way up, crashes into the pants and the boot there. And then another problem is this overlay piece stops the boot from any kind of forward, and you only get a little bit back, and then you get the toe. So yeah, the articulation here, or the hindrances, especially for a running character, not too great. Here he is with, once again, the fantastic new Cybot figure. If you haven't checked out that video, give it a look. Before we get into final thoughts, I forgot to mention that the wrist articulation is a standard articulation we get from McFarlane, where it hinges up and down, or you can rotate the wrist and it'll go side to side, so you can position it however you choose. It is there, and there is some ankle pivot. So bottom line for me is that although Kabal looks fantastic, he is a disappointment in my opinion. He just doesn't have the articulation to get into too many dynamic poses, and that is due to the head articulation and the torso articulation. Especially being a runner, you know, a lot of people might want to put him in like an action type running pose, especially with the cool hook blades. That, of course, like I said, is bent. I'll heat that up. That's not a big problem. But yeah, the lack of being able to get him into any of his dynamic poses that you would want to get this character in is a big letdown. I gushed over Noob Saibot. I will say he looks incredible, and it's awesome that they added in articulation above the knee so you can get some more movement in the legs. So my final thought would be that if you collect the Mortal Kombat line, pick him up. I mean, if anything, he'll be another addition to the collection, especially if you're collecting them all. But if you're not really collecting the line and just like the Kabal figure, I mean, or wanted to add him into another part of a different collection, he's a pass for me. He would be a pass for me then. I'm happy I have another Mortal Kombat figure added to the line to add to my shelf, but like I said, I gushed over Noob Saibot. Total opposite end of the spectrum for Kabal. Pretty disappointed. Do it. Drop me a comment. Tell me if you agree with my opinion on the figure, or if you happen to have a different opinion. And while you're at it, please consider subscribing, hitting that like button, and thwipping that notification bell, and I'll catch you guys all right back here on the thwip side. Thanks for watching, and later.